Good morning. I'm in my car here in Alabama. I've got a lot of appointments to go to today. I have physical therapy for my wrist, and I have to go get iron IV because my iron's been really low and I'm anemic. And then later on, I have to go to the chiropractor, so I'm just like constantly hopscotching around with my appointments. I am extremely exhausted. I have some things upcoming involving my health that are kind of serious that I'm in preparation for actively. I've been really trying to catch my breath. I have not been able to take a breather in what feels like a year. I feel like it's been one thing, then another thing, then another thing, and it's extremely exhaustive. So I'm just hoping that as we get further into this year, I can kind of stabilize things for myself. I've been really trying to figure out what I want recently, what I want to do in the future, and I feel kind of stuck. I feel stuck of being almost 30 and feeling like I'm falling out of passion with my passion. Feeling like I don't have an exact idea as to what else I want to do, because my current passion, I've been doing that for like half a decade. It's really hard to lose interest in something you've been doing for half a decade, that you've put so much of your time and spirit into, and just feeling like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. I just don't feel connected to it. I understand there's more cute things that can be made, there's more nice things that can be made, but I don't feel a connection to what I'm making. I feel like I'm on autopilot. I'm not as excited for projects, and a lot of that could just be health. A lot of that could just be because I'm so drained and depleted right now. I just don't have all of the extra vessels, like the extra avenues of interest necessary to carry me over to do such a high intensive creative job. What we do in this space is a very high intensive and creative job, and because of that, it requires 115% of your heart and like 50% of your brain at all times. And when I'm struggling to just move through my day comfortably, when I'm struggling to even walk, it's very hard to go and build something where it takes 10 to 13 hours to put together what I put together. And I'm just feeling very limited. I felt like a machine last year. I felt like I was a factory for just creating and following trends, and most industries are like that. Most artistic industries, regardless of what you choose, you're gonna fall into the rigorous work of keeping up with trends, keeping up with holidays. The worst thing ever to me. I fucking hate having to work on holiday stuff. It just feels so corporate. And it's different when you're enjoying working on those holiday things. I love that. For the people that love working on holiday things, absolutely. You have to do what your heart is telling you to do. You have to do what your soul is calling you to do. But it's when it feels like it's just a job, when it feels like you're just making a quota, when it feels like you're just checking the box for whatever holiday you're doing and doing themed, or in that aesthetic for that holiday. I just can't think like that. I have a very dispersed brain and a very dispersed mind, and I'm very much so on a whim. So in terms of like thoroughly planning ahead, I've never been good at that, and I think it's because my mind is so dispersed, and I'm still learning how my brain functions. I'm still learning how I process things, because it's started to occur to me, like as I'm getting older, the way I process things is different. And everyone is different with how they process things, but I just process things differently in my mind. So I could have like 8 months to plan for something and then still won't execute it properly when the time rolls up on us, you know? So I just was feeling like it was becoming very corporate. I think I started kind of resenting my job a little bit. I think I started resenting my passion. I just started feeling like, oh my gosh, this is such a treadmill. Like, make new thing, make quota, make new thing. I also felt like there were so many demands that were on me. And I think that was largely self-imposed because we hear the critique, we hear the ridicule, and as artists, we really internalize all of that because our art is an extension of our soul. So when somebody critiques us or they critique our process or our art, it's very, very like detrimental to us psychologically. I know for me, it can be very detrimental and it can make me withdraw because when I'm under tremendous amounts of pressure, I just withdraw. And so I just felt like I can't do everything I want to do. I can't bring the happiness to people that I want to bring to them. I can't give everybody what they need for either like the restraints on my time, restraints on my health, my own physical limitations. And I just kept feeling like I couldn't give what I wanted to give to this space, to this job. I feel like the platforms are just getting very like, let me turn this heat down. I have really, really bad anemia, which is why I have to go get my iron IV, but like I get extremely cold very easily and then I have to heat myself up, but that was a lot of heat. That was like a lot of heat. And so I just kind of started feeling like this isn't fun anymore. This isn't fun anymore. The platforms have just been getting kind of annoying. Like Instagram is just like a train wreck. Facebook, I could just never really get into Facebook. I don't know if it's like my age. I don't know if it's just me. I understand Facebook is absolutely amazing. I might still go back to Facebook, but I think that I just really wasn't like enjoying Facebook. I just felt like it was constantly a chore to update it, and most of my followers come from Instagram anyway, and so I'm just like, what are we doing here? Because I don't feel like I'm maximizing the Facebook space, and I just feel like that's unfair to our members to have a space and not be maximizing it. And then I don't want to put somebody in a predicament where they have to like take that over for me if I'm not doing the work to really add to that space. Does that make sense? And so I don't know if I just need to like get on a completely separate platform, but I'm just like kind of over all the social media like chaos. Like I feel like social media is just draining the joy that comes from creating, because you have to worry about likes and follows and shares and all this other stuff. And it's like, I just want to make art, and I really just want to make art and give it to people. If it wasn't for like living and expenses and bills and the economy being an absolute disaster, and it's like drowning in this like entire system, this design that, you know, so many people are just trying to make it through. Like I wouldn't even sell things. Like I can't stand the aspect of selling things. I like to be paid for my efforts because I work extremely hard. I work between 10 to 13 hours on one project. And so it's important to be paid for that. And if anything, I think I undercharge. I think a lot of makers undercharge just because we don't want to be the person charging, you know, a lot for a piece. But when you're standing on your feet for 14 hours, if you pivot that into other industries of design, the math just doesn't check out. And so we're usually undercharging, and it just feels like that's a chore. I wish I could just be like a millionaire and just make stuff for people and wouldn't have to sell it, because that would truly be my dream, because that would take all the pressure off of me. But it's the having to work it as a job. Then there's like some of the tensions that, you know, rise up between different, you know, areas of like the artistic community. I really dislike that. I dislike strife. You know, I'm very much so a person, this is not working out for me. I'm gonna take a step back. I'm just gonna back off from this. I don't need this in my space, because I just believe life is too short. We're already so inundated with negativity. From the time we open social media, turn on the news, this tragedy's happened, that tragedy's happened, this terrible thing is happening, this happened, that happened. We're constantly overwhelmed with negativity, and I just feel it's so bad for our minds, especially when so many people are struggling right now. And so I just don't want to be a part of anything that's negative. And I just don't want to add to anything that's negative. I'm not speaking about anything in particular. I'm just talking about like this tension that can come from being in an artistic space and constantly feeling like you need to grind and like elbow your way, you know, through each other to like be seen. And I just dislike that, because I feel like there's enough seats at the table for everyone to eat. There's enough room for everybody, you know, and I think for the most part as a community, we don't step on each other's toes, and I really like that. We try very hard to have camaraderie with each other. We don't always ace that, you know. I, you know, have made my own mistakes and have had to learn from that and had to figure out better ways to, you know, go about dealing with certain scenarios. But it just, all of it, it's not one thing, it's a culmination of like feeling like my job has become corporatized, feeling like everyone is an island, and like kind of feeling like everyone is elbowing and stepping on each other's toes, like especially in 2024. It just kind of felt like, what is going on, you know what I mean? And so 2023, 2024, it just felt like there was a lot of tension, and I don't do well with tension. I will exit myself from the scenario. I'm gone. I don't have anything to say to anybody. I don't have anything to do. I'm gone. And so it just felt like there was a lot of tensions and feeling like I'm on a treadmill, especially when you're comparing each other's talent. You're kind of like comparing you're measuring your wealth on, you're measuring your worth on each other's skill sets. And that is like the worst thing I could possibly do for like my mental health, because somebody else can push out 30 pieces in a month. That is fantastic. That is amazing for them. That is skill. That is grind. Somebody can only push out 2 pieces. You know, they can only create 2 pieces for the month. Some people can only do 5 pieces. Some people can do 1 piece, but it, you know, it's extremely exquisite. Or somebody can do, you know, lots of pieces and they're more minimalistic but still incredibly adorable. Like, it just depends on a person's skill set. But when you like see people being creating like very full releases and having lots and lots of different pieces, and then you're limited for certain reasons, especially if they're physical, it just impacts your mental health, where you feel like you're not giving enough. And then that just makes me at least feel like, well, what is the point if I can't keep up? You know what I mean? And I just hate that I do that to myself, and I hate that we do that to ourselves as artists in general. I don't really know why I'm making this video. I don't really make videos like this. I'll probably just like, I don't know, like maybe never make a video again. But I'm just talking to you all because I'm kind of in a limbo right now with myself creatively and physically, and I've got some really serious stuff coming up, and so I can't really make a set goal for myself until that shakes out, and then I can move forward, because that might really alter the trajectory of my life considerably. So I don't want to start making a lot of goals. I also tend to like make a lot of goals. I don't plan ahead well, but like I'll make a lot of goals and not plan ahead right. I think that's the problem with like how my mind works, and then when I can't execute those things, I feel very down on myself. So I just didn't feel like it was fun anymore. And they said the greatest way, I once heard the greatest way to like ruin your joy or your passion is to have it for a job. And I think that's true. And I think I just want to get out of not having like a job with my passion. Like, this is my spirit, this is my soul. And I know we have to have a job because we have to, you know, take care of our families. We have to, you know, feed ourselves. We have to, you know, especially if when you have like chronic illnesses and health issues, you know, you have to take care of yourself. You need money to be able to literally survive, to take care of yourself. You know, I had some issues with my medication where, you know, I'm transferring things over and I couldn't get certain medications, and it's like my life Oh, I'm having a call. Sorry, I was getting a call. I like do not know how to work technology. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. But when you have medication that you need to survive and you can't get access to that medication, your life can literally like be altered in the worst possible way. And so feeling like I have that, you know, if you've ever watched cartoons, they have like a weight over the head with like attached to a little rope, and like there's a character that's gonna cut it and it's gonna fall on the other character's head. It feels like that when you have a chronic illness or something that's debilitating you deal with every single day. There's a weight over your head, and it just might get cut, and it just might drop on you randomly in the day. And it's like you go through life kind of like every single day because you don't know what's going to happen. So I think it's about really finding my balance. And because my CI is constantly changing, I have to change my approach to how I deal with it. So I think this year is really just about me getting stabilized physically, and about me getting stabilized mentally and like spiritually, and finding my peace, whatever that is. I might just delete everything and just come back new. I might just shelve everything and then start something new. I might just pivot entirely out of art. I'm not sure what I want to do. I know I'm extremely inclined to art because I'm very whimsical. I'm very expressive. I like to call myself an extroverted introvert. I'm very much so like a recluse. I'm very introverted. I really just like my own space. I like my solitude. I like to be by myself. But I'm also extremely extroverted with the people that I do care about, with the people that I do love. So there's just a lot for me to do and for me to think about moving forward. But I just wanted to come and talk to you all a little bit because I know I've been like very, very AWOL. Everything's gonna be okay. I really love you all. I want you to follow your passions. Don't be so hard on yourself. We have so many different things to be grateful for in our life, and sometimes life gets in the way of us realizing what we're grateful for. I love you guys. I'm extremely, extremely proud of all of you. I see everyone just like living in their truth and really making beautiful, beautiful things. And as an artist, you should live in your truth. You should make the things that you want to make, and make sure it's something you want to make. And, you know, I'm hoping that moving forward in the future, whatever I do, I don't get into the habit of being on a treadmill, and I can just kind of have fun with it again. I don't know what it's going to take for me to have fun with it again. I feel like I'm going to have to completely just do away with CF and just do something new. And, you know, it's so scary. It's like, you know, get trademarked, get registered. I feel like you're just gonna do away with that. I just don't feel the same connection anymore to it that I used to. And I don't know if I'm ever gonna get that back. But I also feel a sense of peace even if I don't. Because life is about change. And if everything stayed the same all the time, life would be miserable. So, you know, a strength is always a weakness, because there has to be balance. And so, you know, the strength is that I've had something that I've loved doing, and that I did kind of find like my footing. I did kind of find like my niche. But, you know, the downside is that it does become kind of rhythmic and routine, and you do kind of lose the enthusiasm. So 2025 is about finding enthusiasm in life, in little things and other things. So yes, I'll see you guys later. Hang tight, and do something special for yourself today. You deserve it. I'm gonna try to get like a coffee or something out. There's this local coffee place, and they do a lot of like animal they do a lot of like a rehoming for animals, and a little bit of animal activism, and I think it's just really, really beautiful and sweet. So I'm thinking about going and supporting them today. So okay, love you guys. I'll talk to you later, or maybe not. I don't know. Sometimes I just get kind of scared because there's a lot going on. Okay, bye.